What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Fight Like Hell podcast, coming to you live, not technically live, but episode 79. And this is the start of a new year, and it's already starting fucked up. Austin has this episode
It's your
labeled
fault.
as BDE for the Big Dick Energy Tour,
Yeah,
which
that's what we're going into the year with, Rob.
BDE, bringing a lot of BDE. I don't feel BDE right now because I'm literally doing the podcast from my cell phone with no AirPods, no proper mic. Like, this is fake at this point, and no headphones. So, this is going to be really interesting. Austin's actually going to be hosting more than he probably wants to. Speaking of that, and
You're
I
doing
forgot
it
to tell
all.
you, today is Friday, January 6th, and it's a Friday in the year 2023. It's the first episode. Austin, you're to my left, and
Am
who do
I?
we have below us?
Yeah, we have Jimmy below us, right, Jimmy?
That is correct. The one and the
Okay.
only.
How's it going, man?
Happy Insurrection Day. Can I say that? Am I allowed to say that?
Oh, you can say
Yeah.
whatever you want, man.
Okay. Yeah, we
We have
stormed the
no
Capitol,
there's
so.
there's no filters. There's nothing. You can say whatever you want.
All right, well, let's take a moment of silence, can we? For. All right, I'm done. We're all good. I'm back. So, it's
So
all
yeah,
good.
no man, we have Jimmy below us, Bravo Alpha Mike Foxtrot, someone who's been a part of our challenges we've done on Instagram. They
Why
followed
don't
us
you
for
let
a
him
while.
introduce himself?
No, not allowed.
Oh, my agent
Jimmy,
says
tell us a
my.
little bit about yourself.
All right. I'm a loser. I'm a gun fanatic. I like animals. I drink lots of coffee. I don't like to run because it's against my religion. Just the basic stuff. Being a wonderful, productive citizen of our country. No, I'm pretty much. I used to be a high school teacher, high school coach back in the day. Now I work for the Navy as a fitness director, and I run their physical readiness programs. I assist with it out here at the Naval Air Station here for Texas, and it's where my dad retired. My dad's retired from the Air Force after doing about 28 years. He served in Vietnam. He was a Pedro, so he did the combat rescue helicopters in Vietnam, and pretty much, that's really it about me. I mean, I like to go to the gun range, shoot my guns, and I like to
And work out
work
a lot.
out. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Try to stay out of trouble. You know, follow you guys. Which I've enjoyed. I'm not gonna lie about that. But I appreciate you guys having me on here, and if anybody wants to, get autographs, I'll do one or two for free. After that, I got to start charging. But inflation's a
Can they
motherfucker right
pay?
now.
Can they
So,
pay you in pesos?
uh,
I mean,
you
you're in
know,
Texas, isn't that what? Isn't that where all the pesos are?
yeah, but I prefer Bitcoin.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
What's that?
full
The
Bitcoin.
Yeah, the the
One
the
whole
doggo.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, the
Jeez.
the doggo money, the doggy money, whatever the fuck
Dot
that shit was.
Dogecoin.
Dogecoin.
Yeah, yeah, there
Oh,
you go. I'll take those as well because those will be useful someday.
that's
I
like
think.
a 16th of the price of a Bitcoin.
Eh,
Well, Bitcoin's almost at 17,000 right now. It's at 16,942. So
yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
and Dogecoin is only 73 cents.
yeah, I would take Bitcoin.
Yeah,
I think you're getting a better deal.
you're losing a lot of money if you go Dogecoin.
Hey, man, beggars can't be choosers, right? So I got to start somewhere. Come on.
Yeah. No, but it's kind of funny. The reason why we actually had you on was because I think it was something. Oh, it was on our questions at the answer, like ask us
Hmm.
or tell us anything at the end of the year. You're like,
Hmm.
why haven't you had me on the podcast? And I was like, actually, that's a good fucking point. Why haven't we
Why
had him on the
not?
I,
podcast?
yeah, I made that joke to my girlfriend. I was like, hey, I'm gonna be on a fucking podcast. She's like, why? It's like, well, they posted this question. I was like, I was just being a smart ass. I was like,
Hey.
who do we have to have on the podcast? Who do you want up there this year? I was like, well, I go, that's easy. It should be me. And the reason is just because. And she goes, well, that's what you get for being a fucking smart ass. I
Yeah.
was like, yeah,
Asking
yeah,
you,
that's,
hey, you say
you
something
know,
and fucking will make it happen.
I know. So, here I am. I'm locked in my room. I got On Patrol Live going right here. I'm talking to you, badass son of bitches. So, hey, happy Friday night to everybody.
Happy
Yeah.
Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night party. Do you
Yep.
drink, Jimmy?
Drink some coffee. Got my coffee over here, which you see me sipping every
But
once in a while.
other than coffee, do you drink?
Occasionally, I actually have a full bottle of Patron sitting up here on
Of
my
course,
shelf up
tequila.
here.
Of
Yeah,
course, it's tequila.
yeah. So other than that, it's sporadic at times, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Okay.
you
Well,
drink any dark liquids, or is it only tequila for you?
Dark liquid like coffee. Yeah, I drink coffee quite a bit.
No, no,
as
no,
in
no. We're
whiskey.
talking on the
As in
liquor
I
whiskey.
content.
know. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do occasionally. That's I usually save that for you know when it when it's going to be a more mellow time where I'm not going to be around a lot of people just because people are fucking annoying. And when you start drinking around a lot of people, somebody's going to be a dumbass and say something they're not supposed to, and then you're supposed to be polite and not react, and that's never going to fucking happen. We know that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm just
Um.
your typical nice guy.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get into our. Dude, I feel like I forgot how to podcast. Already. I'm gonna
You
get
did.
into our promotions. Our first official sponsor of the Fight Like Hell podcast is Invicta Coffee. Speaking of coffee, they're
Yes.
a great coffee company out of sunny Arizona. Our friend Spencer down in like the Phoenix area owns Invicta Coffee. If you would like to try some of their amazing coffee, and our favorite coffee from them is definitely the bourbon pecan, head on over to his website and use the promo code Fight Like Hell, all one word, Fight Like Hell, and it'll save you a little bit off on some amazing coffee. Our next official sponsor is PatriotCookies.co. They are a veteran-owned company out of sunny Florida, which, by the way, sunny Florida is not true. It rains there quite a bit. I lived there for a couple days. That's owned by Johnny B. Tackfit or Johnny B. Tack. Did I say it right? I feel like I'm fucking it up.
Yes. Johnny B. Tackfit.
Yeah.
Johnny Bravo.
And he's our local cookie dealer. If you want to get some amazing cookies, because they're always whipping up like all different types of new cookies, head on over to his site and use the promo code Fight Like Hell, all one word. Again, Fight Like Hell, all one word, and you can save 15% on some amazing cookies. Yeah, and those are our two
Good
sponsors of
job.
the podcast.
Good job, Rob. And then
Awesome.
let's get into weekend adventures. Well, last weekend we already covered because we did a podcast on Sunday.
Yeah, yeah. So I guess
So,
it's I guess
so what's
like Jimmy, what have you done either last weekend or what are you getting into this weekend or both?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I'm probably we got a local farmers market I got to hit up this weekend. Um, got some fresh food. I mean, especially eggs. I got to get some damn eggs. Probably hit that up, and then got to get a little more time on the range. That's for sure. So, this week's going to be simple because it was actually our first full week back to work after the holidays and stuff.
yeah?
After taking some time off for myself. So,
How'd your
um,
holidays go?
oh man, it's simple, slow, and wonderful, like it should go. Spend
Yeah,
some time with.
nice and cold down there for that.
Oh, yeah, that's what you get called cold. I mean, but yeah, just not much. Just kind of keep things simple till we get a little bit more comfortable with the weather around here, and then I'll probably do more. I mean, one of the things that'll tend to kick in is going on for some rucks a little bit more on the weekends, like I usually do when it starts warming up. You
Yeah,
know.
when the weather gets better.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But other than that, not too much. I'm a very, like I said, very simple person. Try not to make life difficult.
I mean, hey, sometimes that's the best way to do it. I mean, less is more, you know.
Oh shit, yeah, it is 100%. But yeah,
So
that's primarily me in a nutshell on a weekend. Especially the last 2 weekends, ain't done shit. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah, hey, I mean that's after the holidays, you just try hard to get back into the season.
Yeah.
Rob's back. So let's talk about your week, Rob. I mean, what'd you do yesterday?
Snowboarded and played hockey,
We
and
won't talk about the rest of it, but what'd you do yesterday?
yeah, yeah. There's a lot of shit that actually happened the other day. All I gotta say is no good deed goes unpunished. Fucking hell. Uh, anyways, I snowboarded yesterday and played 2 hours of hockey. Had a practice and a scrimmage. My first time on the ice since like the
This
third week.
year.
I had like 3 weeks off. So it was good to be back on the ice. I was just bitching to Austin when I was on a walk with Allie that my legs are so fucking sore right now. And yeah, that's pretty much what I did.
Yeah, I mean, I did do shit. No, I did absolutely nothing.
Yeah, that's a typical weekend for you.
Usually, nope. I put up with your bullshit.
Yeah. So, okay, I guess we covered snowboarding and hockey. Um, you didn't do anything.
Nope.
Still feel so discombobulated this way. Like everything feels off.
we'll we'll fix it before the next episode.
Well,
Yeah.
I just gotta say nothing's off. You guys are just, how do I say? It's my presence. You're in so much
Yeah,
fucking
we're
awe
just.
right now. You
I'm
just don't know how to
starstruck
handle
by you,
yourself.
Jimmy. Is what it
Yeah,
is.
I don't blame you. I mean, I'm that way. I get up in the fucking morning, I go take a shit, and I look in the mirror and I go, that is a beautiful man right there.
I mean, you just
You know,
piss excellence. It's okay.
oh, I do. I mean, my mom, she brought the most awesomest motherfucker into this earth, and you
I
guys
knew
are
it.
looking at him.
I knew
So
it.
you're welcome. That's all I got to say.
Okay, so well, what's speaking of you? Let's get into your backstory, and I need from the moment you were born until today, this minute.
Well, there's a 10-year gap when I was in prison, so I can't get into too much deep. No, seriously, did not go to prison. Don't anybody start calling people doing a background check. Somebody's gonna do that.
I'm
Oh,
gonna have to mute
God.
this for a second. I need your social security number real fast.
Yeah, yeah, you're not getting anything from me. So, but anyway, yeah, but
Okay, so yeah, let's get into your backstory. What
okay.
um what got you you said you were a high school teacher.
Yep.
What started you down that route? What made you become a high school teacher?
I really wanted to go into, at the time I was getting into college and getting into things. I wanted to do strength and conditioning. I wanted to be a strength and conditioning coach. Um, at that time, there wasn't a lot of resources out there to be a strength coach, and so it ended up leading towards coaching football. And being in Texas, I mean, you're in God's country for football,
Yeah.
so
Oh
that's an
yeah.
easy. That was an easy foot in the door there. I did that for a while, and it just it got to the point where it's like I want to try something a little different. So after about 14, 15 years at the high school level, I did about a year, maybe a little less, semester or so at a university interning as a strength and conditioning coach. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I was burnt out. I was completely gassed. Just didn't have anything to light the fire, and I was like, I want to do something in fitness. Just couldn't figure out what it was, so I just said, okay, here's my plan. I'm going to work on some certs, maybe go back to school, give myself a year and a job, and go from there. And then ended up my parents who frequent the gym out at the base. Somebody's like, yeah, we need a trainer out here. So I was like, well, shit, I'll apply. It's decent money. It's on base. I grew up there, did a lot of stuff there. So I applied, got the job. I went from just being you know, in the Navy pay grade NF1, which is bottom of the barrel. Um, and then within like less than a year, I moved up to sports coordinator, which is kind of like an athletic director. So I ran all
Nice.
the intramural sports for everybody out there. You know, love that because I got a sports background. And then stayed in that position about maybe about 3 years, and then went into apply for our fitness coordinator, which is in charge of the facility and programs, and I went and did that. And then this just past year, I applied for our fitness director position, which was vacant, and I got that position. So I've been in that position for about a year now, and you know, I'm not gonna lie, it's some people. We've had a lot of people, you know, transition out of these jobs because you know
Hmm.
everybody wants the quick money. Got to have the
Mm-hmm.
money. Got to have the money. And yeah, well, I mean, we don't get paid a shit ton of money. We do a lot, but you know, growing up overseas when my dad was in the military, MWR, who I work for, was our
Hmm.
department. That's a huge entity in overseas lives for you know
Mm-hmm.
the dependents, the spouses, the single sailors, you know, the single
Yeah.
airmen, etc. And I was like, you know, shit. I'm like, I kind of grew up with this when I was in elementary school, when I was in middle school. You know,
Where'd you grow up?
oh, dude, I grew up everywhere.
Yeah, because you were a
I
Navy brat,
was
so you're
well,
constantly
Air
moving,
Force. I
I
was
think.
Air Force.
Air
Oh,
My
Air
Force.
dad's
Force.
yeah,
He
my
works
dad
for the
yeah,
Navy now.
yeah. My dad was part
Okay,
of the
okay, okay.
yeah. My dad was part of the chair force. So you know, but so what ended up happening? I was born in Tachikawa Air Force Base, Japan. My mom's
Oh.
Japanese, but that base is no longer there. It's actually a huge city park now. But I was born in Tachikawa Air Force Base. We went from there, lived in Plattsburgh, New York for a few years. We lived in Kaiserslautern Air Force Base for a few years in Germany. We lived at Loring Air Force Base in Maine, which is now a municipal airport up in Maine. And went from there. We went to Soesterberg Air Base in Holland, which, lo and behold, that is now a wildlife sanctuary and a wildlife park.
Oh,
Uh,
geez.
yeah, in the city of Zeist. And then I pretty much from high school on to now, we've been here in Fort Worth, Texas. So you know, it's that opportunity right now that you know I like the job because you know one I'm still working in the fitness realm, but we also put on and we sponsor activities for you know the sailors, the because we're a joint base, so we have Marine units there, we have Army, we have Air Force, we've got everybody up here. So you know it's an opportunity to you know kind of show them, you know, what we're all about. And a lot of people they still don't understand unless you go overseas, but it's fun. You know, I really dig that part of the job because you know it. Shit, I'm 49, and you can say, oh, it brings back memories, and it kind of does because a lot of this shit,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if I didn't have overseas, I don't think being overseas would have been as fun as it was if I didn't have a lot of the shit
Right,
that
and it when
MWR put
and
on.
it's different from a someone growing up there compared to like being stationed there as a army or as a service member compared to a dependent. Like it's
Yeah,
way different scenarios because
yeah,
you actually get to enjoy like more. You get to more enjoy where you're stationed
hmm,
than it's just a place of work.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I really dig the job. I enjoy it. It's you know, it's fun. You know, it has a lot of rewards, has a lot of benefits to it. You know, like I said,
Do you get to
and
yell at soldiers all day?
you know,
Well, seaman, seaman. He gets to yell
shit.
at seaman.
I
Yeah,
get to yell at the seamen
you get to go play with seamen all day.
all day long, brother, all day long. You know, and that's where you know the fun because like part of our job is Um, I'm a command fitness leader, so we're facilitators for the active duty sailors.
Hmm.
So we train them on, you know, the regs to go through BCAs, the PRT, their PFAs, and stuff like that. And you know, it kind of lets
You
me
tell them how to be true seamen.
exactly. Hey, the healthier the semen, the better. You know, it's like I tell them. But you know that's
This is how you
where
be a good white seaman.
exactly. Hey, you know, the stronger you are, the better stains you leave. I don't know, you know, but you know, it's fun. It really is fun. I mean, getting to work with them and you know, getting to you know just kind of shoot the shit on a daily basis because you know I get to see the other end where they're not having to deal with, coming in and saluting me or me saluting
Mm-hmm.
them. And,
Yeah, because you're a
it's,
civilian, you're not
yeah,
a, you
yeah,
know.
yeah, but we get to have some fun with it. Yeah. So that's definitely the luxury of the job is, I'm not one of those civilians where, I'm trying to go out there and prove myself to everybody and then,
I'm better
have
than
the,
you because I'm a civilian.
yeah, and I don't have time for that shit. Either you're going to let me help you or you're not, it's sad, but that's the nature of the beast, man.
One,
You
and
know.
I'm sure, like, especially in like fitness, especially for them, like they're either they want to get in shape and they want your help, or they just don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's and no lie, that's been the most difficult part of the job is that. But one of the things with being in my position is, being a CFL facilitator where I'm training these guys, is, they kind of know that, with fitness, my staff and myself, we're kind of passionate about it. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, don't come here to find the easy way out. If you're here to just, find an easy way out and, how do I buck the rules? How do I go bend
I'm
this? And
here just to do the bare minimum to
yeah,
pass PT.
exactly. And, if you're going to bear minimum time with me, then I tell them straight up, like you're coming to the wrong person. You're coming to the wrong motherfucker.
So, out of all the places you were stationed, what was your favorite place?
Oh man, the one I can remember the most is going to be the last place when we were in Holland.
Hmm.
Um, the reason that one sticks out to me the most is because when we got there, they had no base housing for us. So
Okay.
we lived off base, about a 45-minute car ride from the base, and first day we moved in, I remember all the neighborhood kids were like out in our front yard saying like, "Who the hell are these people?" None of them spoke English; they spoke Dutch.
Yeah.
So for like the first week, we were like freaking Neanderthals. It's like, I go eat, shit like that. That's how we communicated. And then luckily for me, it was over the summer. And the funny thing is that when we lived over there for 4 years, I actually became fluent in Dutch. And
Yeah.
going to school or DoD schools, my parents would get pissed because my report card would come back and I would have like a C or a D in English and I would have an A in Dutch class. And
But I mean, but that's because you're in. It's easier to learn a language when you're surrounded by the language and the culture.
oh yeah, totally, totally. And that's like I still have guys that I talk to on a daily basis that still live over there.
Hmm.
Because it pretty much is that's what I grew up with. I didn't grow up with the other American kids. I grew up
Mm-hmm.
with the Dutch kids. We ran
Right.
around and played soccer. Which I admit I play
Foosball.
soccer. Yeah, it's a sin because it's a communist sport. But anyway, I've I've played the
Do you
soccer
watch the
thing.
World Cup?
Uh, you're breaking up there. I can't hear you. So now it's like I joked with my friend who lives in Holland. I was like, he messaged me on Facebook. He's like, "You gonna watch soccer?" I was like, "No, I watch real football." And he's like, "No," and he didn't get the joke. It took him like the fifth time. I was like, "Dude, I'm not watching any fucking soccer. I'm gonna watch football." So he's like, "I gotcha. I
I'm gonna
understand."
watch the Super Bowl and not the World Cup.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But that was like I said, that's probably the most memorable. I remember that the most because I'm still in contact with a lot of those guys. That I grew up with, that I hung out with. So that's fun. It's definitely fun.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was stationed in Germany for a while, and two things I wanted to touch on were MWR programs, especially when I was overseas or deployed. They're they're definitely morale boosters for
Hmm.
even the active duty. Like it's so much nicer to like be able to go to a gym for free and be
Yeah.
able to work out. And I think it's cool that you get to basically work at a place that you can work out and you can be around active duty people, and
Hmm.
you know the people that are in there, they're either half-assing it or actually want to be in there because they're trying to up their PT score, or they're just trying to stay fit because they're in the military. Um, and with that, like, I would also expand, part of the reason why we all met was because you, excuse me, enjoy doing fitness, and you were interested in one of our 22 challenges, I'm pretty sure, right?
Yep, yep. That's exactly how it all started right there.
Yeah.
Yep.
And how do you, why don't you explain to our listeners, by the way, our, like, in our top 5 listeners, we have people listening to us this episode right now in New Zealand,
And Australia,
Australia. What was in the other top 5 that were really weird?
Canada, the U.S.,
And the UK, I think.
and the U.K. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So tell the
All
people down under about
right.
your style of doing the 22 challenge.
Well, yeah. So I I guess I have this kind of obsession where I don't want to do things normally, and it's also where I know I'm gonna pay for it down the line, but it's like I don't care because it's fun.
Mm-hmm.
So it actually all started off with, you know, with the plate carrier with my vest.
Yeah.
I got the plate carrier just to do workouts, and then I see everybody just like, oh, we're gonna do uh, CrossFit, we're gonna do burpees till we puke, and I'm like, well, my fat ass ain't doing that. I'm
Burpees are the
just
worst thing invented.
oh yeah, with running. So I would do like 5 burpees. I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. But then I just started doing things with my plate carrier. I would go run. I started running like, I just run a mile, and then it's just I hate running, but I don't time myself. I just do it, and I would just strap on the plate carrier, go run a mile, and say, oh, that's awful. And then 2 days later, it's like I'm doing this shit again, and I would just do it again. Then it started off to where it'd run a mile, then I'd go end up walking 2 miles, and it just led up to that. And that went on for a long time. So the first challenge I did with you guys was just simply the plate carrier, um, my headphones, and like, hey, let's go for a walk, let's go for a ruck, and that's what I started doing. And then I had some surgery done, a year and a half ago, and that kind of put me behind the 8 ball for a while. And so I was like, well, I don't feel like running anymore. I don't want to run, so I just put extra weight in the play carrier, and I started dragging my sled. And you guys were like, oh, 22 pounds for 22 miles. And I was like, well, 22 miles to 22 pounds. Okay, fine. How about we put 95 pounds on a sled and 22 pounds on the vest? And how you like them apples? So it was just, I would walk a loop around the base, and that loop would start off and maybe be, a quarter of a mile. And then one day I was like, you know what? I want to see how far I go before the legs give out. And the farthest I went with all that was like 2 miles around the base. Um, and people look at me like, something wrong with you? I'm like, yeah, I was dropped on my head as a child. Like, I don't know,
Probably.
and,
I was born
and
in
yeah,
Japan. Of course, something's
yeah,
wrong with
what
me.
do you expect? It's work ethic, come on. But it was just a different way of doing things, because it, I could sit there all day and just, talk about my philosophy with fitness, and you know
Well, yeah. What got you into fitness? So like,
well
what started the whole fitness journey for you?
it it's just a lot of it. I was just self-taught. I was self-taught. I wanted to know more. um, and you look at me, I'm not going to be on the cover of GQ magazine.
Oh
you
come
know
on! I thought
it's
tomorrow was your day.
you're not supposed to tell anybody, man. You just fuck it
Oh.
up. I'm like, geez, okay, this is over. Cut. But no. um, so it's just like, okay, I want to try this, I want to try that, I want to dab into this, I want to dab into that. And it was just a little bit of everything. And then I got to the point where I was competing in powerlifting, and I got up to about 308 310 pounds. And I ruptured my bicep at work. And I went to a training course. I met up with this lady that was in the course, and She wanted stuff on programming. So I was like, hey, you scratch my back, I scratch yours. She was a nutritionist. So
Was your
she,
wife okay with that?
well, it's my girlfriend. And
Oh, girlfriend.
yeah, and that's a completely different story with her
Does your
because,
girlfriend know that you have a wife, though?
well, unfortunately, she doesn't know.
But now she
So,
does because she's listening
well,
to this
here's,
episode.
She's back. She's back in Holland though, so it's okay.
yeah, she's good. Well, the funny thing was, so here's the thing, is slightly off topic.
No, no,
My,
anything's
my
fine. Go ahead.
okay, my girlfriend, I actually was her head coach when she was in high school,
Mm.
and we met
Wait,
up.
how much? Wait, how much younger is your wife? Is your girlfriend
sh-
than you?
She's 12 years younger than I am.
Oh.
Okay.
And we met up last February. I got this message on LinkedIn, and I very rarely
How do
look
you?
at that stuff.
That is the weirdest way to reach out
So
to
I know.
somebody.
So I get a look on LinkedIn, and I see the name. I was like, hey, I know that lady. And then so I look at her profile, and she works for Fidelity and does. I'm like, this motherfucker's gonna try to sell me insurance. I don't want to hear this crap. I'm like, no,
Right?
I am not reading your message. So I left it, and then you know a couple days later, I was like, well, I got another message from someone. I'll read it. So I went and I read the message. It's like, hey, how's it going? And so I was like, well, yeah, you were pretty cool. I was like, okay, I'll see what people are doing. So I was we messaged back and forth, and it's like, hey, how's it going? I hadn't talked to you in a while. It's like, yeah, we're fine. So next thing here we are, 8 months later, and we've been dating. You know, and that's where the funny thing is she's like, I always had a crush on you, my senior year in high school. I was like, I didn't have a fucking clue. And I coached her little sister, both her sisters too. And they're like, you didn't know? I was like, no, I had no clue. It's like, well, she always flirted with you and she would always act like, it's like, dude, I was like, I was there to win games. I was like, I'm sorry. I was like, I might have been just, a loser coach, not looking at anything else, but, not looking to go to jail. I said, I was looking for
Yeah, no,
championships.
no.
I'm
I mean, like, I feel like you
Back
did
then,
this.
yeah.
You did this the correct way because,
yeah,
like, if this story went back like 20 years or something like that,
yeah,
Yeah, you'd be
exactly.
I'd be a little bit
screwed.
concerned. But I
Yeah.
I'm
feel
gonna
like the
have to end
timeline
this podcast and and contact the Navy. Um,
uh, no,
you're
that
gonna have
that's
security forces show up at your door.
yeah. But no, that was the funny thing. I was like, nah, I said I didn't have any clue this shit was going on. And she's like, oh yeah. So that's how I ended up meeting her. But she ended up she pretty much sees me now where I'm about 80 pounds lighter than what I was before. But like I said, it's the whole thing with fitness for me. It's like always trying to do something different. It's just whether I tell somebody just go freaking walk, go do curls, go do something. There's no cookie cutter thing to it. I know that the working, in the realm with military personnel, everybody thinks, ooh, you get to do all this tactical stuff. I'm like, y'all need to quit playing Call of Duty. Y'all need to quit watching shit on TV.
You
Y'all
do
need to quit
tactical
looking at,
push-ups, right?
yeah, and that makes
Tactical
me,
push-ups.
yeah, exactly. And that's what I tell people. That's why I run with a plate carrier is because it looks really cool.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they'll see me
tactical
all,
running.
yeah, they see me all tatted up on the neighborhood and they're thinking like, that guy, he's a Navy SEAL. I'm like, yes, I am. I don't know. It's like, no, it's just the sick fun of pain. But that's what people think is like, oh, tactical. No, it's not like that. It's completely different. But like I said, that's just how I got into it. It's just something different. It's experimenting. It's fun. It's fun because a lot of programs and stuff that I do on myself first, and then I try to let other people work out on it. It's you know it's hard to explain. It's just I like I said, I've never been the GQ cover model, but it's just fun. And when I saw this 22-pound 22-mile challenge, I'm like, well, shit, I get out and I walk. My plate carrier fully loaded with my kit and everything on it. It's about 22 pounds. Shit, yeah, I can do it. pay this much, get a shirt. I'm like, fuck, it's going to a good cause. I'm like, why not? So that's just pretty much how I got on board with everything. I'm like, all right, it's like good to go, because it's like the whole thing with vigilant and humble. Um, that 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 was a funny story with that, because I got a hat. I do have a hat over here on my shelf, and I saw that hat. It was, I can't remember the name of the company. They make tactical apparel and stuff, and they had a guy on the commercial, and he had a gator on, and he had that hat on. I was like, dude, it's like that saying is fucking legit, because I'm like, I can't stand people that, oh, I'm the smartest man alive. And I just go for you.
Brag about everything like Rob
Yes.
does.
Yes, and yeah. Oh, I play hockey. Okay, I hear that every time he's online. I play hockey, eh? Good for you, buddy. Hey, way to go. I'm from Canada. Tell me what it's about, and all that shit. But uh, I was like, I kind of like that saying. I actually have that poster in my room. I'm actually my office. It's on my
Hmm.
front door, vigilant and humble, and that's how I got that hat. That's how I was like vigilant and humble. I was like, I gotta find that hat. That's a badass hat. And so I just like Googled the saying, and it took me to there, and I'm like, okay, ordered the hat, liked the poster, started doing the following thing. And then that's where, the whole Save Our Six came in. I was like, good
I
cause.
know.
It's
I know.
fun.
He
Yeah.
was a wee baby, and I picked him up and helped him.
Well, yeah, he still needs. He still looks kind of frail, even though he's far away on the camera. But again, for the 20th time, for those people that haven't heard the podcast before, he plays hockey. Okay, he plays hockey. If you didn't know that already, you know that now. So he plays hockey. But anyway, that's enough. That's enough about me for now. I think. I don't know unless you guys want me to spill some more stuff. But
We want every single detail
oh
about
man,
you.
yeah. On
But
on a
no, I
good
mean,
day.
yeah, I mean, so going, we like to cover, as you know, like we like to cover mental health and everything.
Mhm.
So what do you do on your? Everybody has bad days. So
Yeah.
like, what do you do on your bad days? Like when you're having a bad day.
Oh man, you know, I I just tell people, because it's the same thing that I think everybody deals with something, and
Mm-hmm.
I think being a guy, being a man, being a male, makes it even harder for anybody dealing with that, whether
Oh
it's
yeah.
anxiety, whether no matter what it is. And I think my biggest thing is you know in the middle of the day. I mean, if things are just shitty as hell at work, um, I tell people, hey, I'm going to go check my other facilities, and they know what that means. I grab my running shoes, I get in my truck, I drive out to the running track,
I thought you
and
said you don't run.
it, it turns into a very painful walk. Okay, yeah. Man, I was feeling awesome. You just destroyed it. Thanks. But no, I'll go out there, and I'll just do something to kind of get my mind off it, whether it's just, my workout in general, or it's just getting out of the fucking building and, going out there and, doing that painful ass run, because, to me, it's like you said, I suck at running, even
Mm-hmm.
when if I weighed a buck 50, it would take me 3 days to feel like I could run a mile. So that's the whole thing, is I just, that helps me unwind. It's just, I just get away
So
from
so you said
everything.
you're gonna do the Murph this year, right?
Uh, uh, I did that once. I did that once, and after that, I've done it. I did it every year except for last year,
Okay.
because I got sick. I had surgery. My
Mm-hmm.
appendix had ruptured, but
Ooh.
my body responded to it like 3 or 4 days later.
Ooh.
So when
That
I
that does
actually
not sound fun.
no, I was actually out of work for 3 months. They took
Oh
a
jeez.
small piece
What
of my
was
colon out.
Oh geez. So
Uh,
what was the recovery like for that?
the recovery sucked. It really sucked, because it seemed like it was one thing after another. They took they went in, and instead of waiting, later to do the surgery, they did the CT scan, and it was automatically, it's cut them open. We got to get it out because I
Yeah,
was,
emergency.
yeah.
Mm.
And they noticed that they thought my colon was cancerous as well. So they took a
Mm.
small piece. They had to remove a piece of that as well, but it turned out it was just the infection from the rupture had just been going on for so many days. And then when I was getting cleared to go back to work, they found a softball sized abscess away from the surgical site. And I had to walk around for 2.5 months with an IV and a PICC line running and a
Ooh.
drain tube for, that was another 2.5 months before I was cleared to go back to work and get that. So that was the only year I did it. I didn't do it. And this past year I didn't. But previously, the first time I did it full out, it was horrible. I'm not gonna lie. If anybody does it,
It's not supposed to be easy.
oh, dude, it's terrible. So, me and some buddies, we actually did it last few times, and we scaled it. We made it like a team thing, which,
Hmm.
which we found was pretty fun. We got, because out of all of us, you know, one guy's like, he's a hell of a runner. The other guy is decent with running. Me, tanks don't run. So, we sucked at that, and then modified the pull ups, using bands. And that's why we liked it so much, because it's like everybody brought something different to the table. And
Hmm.
we just, we came up with our own way of completing the Murph as a team. And, that's why we liked it. But, me doing it by myself, yeah, I think next go around I do it. It'd probably be more like a 3-4 month event for me, because yeah, it's gonna take me a long time.
Well, and I'm sure there's on the Navy base. There's 50 million people out doing it. Like on Memorial Day weekend, there's 50 million people out during that doing that Murph, especially on the Navy base.
Well, the thing with our base is that we're a joint base,
Right.
and so we don't have, and what surrounds us is a lot more. I mean, that's probably one of the challenges we have running programs is our demographics. I mean, you leave the base, and once you pull out of the front gate, I mean, you're maybe, with traffic, you're maybe 10-15 minutes from downtown Fort Worth,
Hmm.
and there's freaking
I mean,
gyms all over the
Fort
place.
Worth
And
has the biggest military population, I think,
yeah,
in the United States, doesn't it?
yeah, it's all through here, because not far from us down south is Fort Hood, which,
Right.
if you ever go to Fort Hood, it's like a freaking city of its own.
Yeah, it's
That
huge.
place is freaking gigantic. But yeah, it's got a big population. We got a lot. Our population is predominantly retirees that live around
Oh
here.
yeah, yeah.
But
It's
you know,
veterans that are either still going to, or that work there, or
yep.
hanging out at Fort Worth.
Oh yeah, I get reminded of that all the time. But they're good
Yep.
people. It's fun. Like I said, it's challenging to do what we have to do, because like I said, the demographics and everything around here. But
Hmm.
I think that's what you know. I hear people come in that are new to work, and they like gripe about it, but to me, it's like, okay, well, then you give me an idea on how we're going to fix it. And they just stare at me. I'm like, no, we're all complaining. Let's go out there. Let's try to fix it. Because we can sit there and gripe and complain about everything in the freaking world, but if we're not being proactive at our jobs, I mean, then people don't need to. Well, you can see that now. People don't need to work. They need
Right.
to go find something else to do. They need to go change career fields. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Did you take care of Allie, Rob?
Yeah, don't say her name though,
Did
because
you
she
take
can
care of
hear.
ALY?
Yeah, because she can hear you. I have no headphones. Like, this has been very awkward hosting this way. Um, but one thing I wanted to touch on the mental health aspect, and it directly correlates to what I dealt with on Tuesday, is trying to think of a way to say this without outing someone, but something that we've discussed before, and I think it's important to remember for those of you who are struggling or going through something, is step one is, reaching out to someone, whether that is friends, family, loved ones, or professional help. Either way, it's getting that started, and then it's the commitment on you to getting better. And it's really frustrating and hard for your family and friends to be in your corner and be supportive if you're reverting back to things, or just trying to think of a way to like say this, Austin, without.
No, I know what you mean. Well, like I told you earlier, Rob, like you can give somebody all the tools that they need, but
Yeah,
if they're not using those tools to better themselves as a person, like there's only so much you can do to help somebody without physically fucking taking them somewhere or doing something, before you're like, I can't help you no more. Like there's no more I can do for you. I've given you everything, but you don't want to help yourself.
yeah. So basically, like, fucking sack up and get it done. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, yeah, but also to that though, like also if you need help, ask for it. Like don't feel
well,
like
yeah, that's
yeah,
the
there's
start
a
of it.
level. Yeah, there's a level where at a point it's all up to you because there's only so much that you can do for somebody before it gets to that point. But like Rob said, the most important thing you can do is ask for help. Like ask for help and they'll help you to the best of their ability, but like at a point it's up to you.
Yeah, definitely. That's one thing that this week has taught me and frustrated me with, because I think, Jimmy even said it earlier, or you said it, Austin. We all have our things, we all have our bad days, and yet the three of us are sitting here together on a Friday night, and we're discussing things, and we're bringing our
Because
best
we don't
selves
have
forward.
lives, but
What's that?
it says because we don't have lives, we just sit here and hang out.
Yeah, something like that. But either way, like, I don't know, like, I love when I turn on Save Our Sixes DMs and look at them, and see you in there freaking doing fucking heavy ass deadlift, or when you're tagging us because you're dragging a fucking 90-pound sled. By the way, I had no idea how much that sled weighed, and now I know, and I'm just like, holy shit. So it's just like, you got to find those things, and I think for a lot of people, both male and female, if you can find things to do that are fitness related, and it doesn't have to be dragging a sled, it doesn't have to be hockey, it doesn't have to be soccer, it doesn't have to be snowboarding. Just don't be a lazy piece of shit like Austin
Or
and
Rob, who just plays Madden until 4 a.m.
I mean, that's occasionally. I've cut back. But no, I mean, like, just do something. And I think it's one of the reasons why I was interested in having you on, Jimmy, when you jokingly said that you wanted to come on. I knew that you're an example guy. It's not even that you're a motivational guy. Like, you actually go and do shit. And I've seen it constantly on your page. So it's nice to have someone on who seems like, for the most part, you present yourself like you're doing what you can to help yourself and help others.
Right. And I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, one of the things that, that got me out of coaching was, I love the kids to death, but parents, man,
Parents are the
that's like,
worst.
well, it's like I used to tell my kids, like, one of the things I said I was so grateful for what my parents did to me when I was younger. And they're like, what's that? I go, beat me. I'm like, I like
Yeah,
my
you can't do that.
parents.
You can't do that nowadays.
No, you can't. And, and just being who I am, I mean, I just into coaching, into that. I actually worked myself up into an anxiety attack one day and took myself to the hospital thinking I
Oh,
was having a
jeez.
heart attack. And, ever since then, I had, I got diagnosed with general anxiety disorder. And for the longest time, I mean, I was just like, dude, I have general anxiety disorder. And they're like, oh, well, that's a realm of depression. And dude, I'm not gonna lie, I got kind of hung up on that where you're thinking like, but I'm not depressed. I'm not depressed. I'm a guy. I'm a football coach. I do this. I can't be
Yeah.
depressed. And,
Mm.
one of the things I'm not gonna lie, I didn't want to take medication. That's a sign of weakness. I'm a dude, and what ended up happening is I took it. And then when it finally got saturated enough into my system, I'm like, this career field isn't for me anymore.
Hmm.
I'm sitting here. I'm coaching. You know, I I my mom said I should have gone into politics. So I'd be a hell of a politician, which I don't mind
That's even
doing. But
more stress.
I know, but I can bullshit with the best of them, man. It just turned into where it's like, who am I doing this for? I was taking care of someone else's kids more than I was taking care of myself.
Yeah.
My focus wasn't on me. I mean, I was, good Lord. I mean, diet was awful. I was dipping like, 3, 4 cans of snuff a day. I was figuring ways to sneak the dip into the classroom when I was teaching. And,
Jeez.
it was like nonstop. I had sleep apnea so bad where just like it felt like I was never getting rest. And all this stuff where I got diagnosed with sleep apnea was all this occurred after I got out of coaching, and I just stuck to it. And, fitness, at times I know it's an overkill with some of the stuff that I do, but it's like I tell people, you got to have a meaning to your madness. If
Hmm.
you're just going out there like, well, making myself throw up makes me feel good. Okay, that's an extreme in my opinion. And I'm not a
not
professional.
not everybody wants to be David Goggins, okay,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
push
that
yourself to the breaking limit.
that's what I'm saying is, my favorite saying is, it's quality over quantity.
Hmm.
And, so that's why, fitness is just, being active, going out and doing things. And, you know, do I play Call of Duty? Yes, I play Call of Duty. Do I like to talk to people about shooting guns? Yes, I like to shoot. These are hobbies. This is not the signs of a psychopath. These are fucking
I mean, you live
hobbies.
in Texas. If you don't own guns, then there's something wrong with you. You
Yeah,
live in
exactly.
Texas, and
So, my level of fitness and me going out wanting to go to an outdoor range so I can wear my plate carrier and learn how to transition from a pistol
you're
to
just
my
crazy, man.
AR.
You're just
Yeah.
crazy.
Doesn't make me a psycho. It's, hey, it's something I want to learn. I want to protect my family. I want to protect my home. I'm sorry I want to do that. But, I just going back to what you guys said, I think we've all been part of that where, we've gotten that help, and or we found those people, and we've just kind of, it took us a while before we realized, hey, they're only going to be able to help us so much before we need to take over and do this shit ourselves, you
Mm.
know. And we're all guilty for it. And but it's like I said, is one of the things that you know that in the realm of like tactical fitness, we've heard this a lot in the last few tactical strength and conditioning conferences. And I've always believed this is that you know these guys are coming out and they're talking about fitness. They're talking about getting these guys to work out. But one of the things that I've always felt, and now they're actually talking about it and they're admitting it, is that the military is losing that actual camaraderie that used to be there. And what I mean by that is like nobody's trying to get to know their people.
Mm.
If you have 50 or 60 people in your command that you have to do PT with, that you work with, you don't have to be their friend. You need to be their eyes and ears at times.
Hmm.
And you're not getting that. It's like, hey, why aren't you able to do these sit ups? Well, that's a stupid ass question. You know, you have you talked to this guy to find out what he or she does after work? Do they have any
Mm.
hobbies? Oh, it's just my kid. It's just this. It's just that. And I don't know if I'm beating around the bush with what I'm saying, but I just don't feel like people are personable anymore. It's like
Right.
Okay.
They're seen as soldiers and not
Yeah.
people.
If I have to talk to you and motivate you because this is your job, then you shouldn't be in the military. There might be some validity behind that, but
Mm-hmm.
also on the flip side, what's going on outside of work?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not saying, you go have a command PT and say, hey, let's sit around the circle and sing Kumbaya and tell me all your problems. I can tell you on a daily basis when I work out at our gym, I can tell you who's cheating on whose baby mama is not their baby mama, because these guys come to the gym and it's like freaking diarrhea of the mouth. It's a
Oh
stress
yeah.
reliever. They're talking to their buds, and they're just blah, and they feel great. And it's just like when I ran the sports program, I was not very strict on the rules for these military guys because my thing was their day is over. I want them to come out here, have fun, play the sport. When they're done, smoke some cigarettes, down a couple beers, go home. Because
Mm-hmm.
if they go home to a wife and kid, and I'm coming out here and I'm being a super strict asshole during the sports, and they just dealt with that with their CO, they're going to go home and home life's going to be shitty.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I tried to create that buffer. I'm like, okay, shitty day at work. You come to my sports, win or lose. Hey, are you supposed to have a beer in the dugout? Nah. Jimmy don't see it. What Jimmy don't see doesn't happen. So the guy'd sip a beer, you know, smoke a cigarette while he's out on the field. At the end, he shows up to the game all pissed off at the world. An hour later, he leaves, totally chilled, totally relaxed. Now he goes home, he'll be in a better mood, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what I try to do for him there. And that's just what I'm saying is I just think it doesn't even take you 2 seconds just to check on somebody,
Mhm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I just think a lot of times one of the hardest things is to communicate that because one, you know, it's God, I don't know, there's that gray area where we feel that if we reach out to somebody, are we taking too much advantage of them?
Mm-hmm.
And
Oh
then
yeah.
if we feel that, what's going to happen is that person's going to start to withdraw themselves even more.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like I said, it's different for everybody. But I just think, with what you guys are doing, and some other people out there, if people just speak up and let them know, hey, there's other ways of getting this information, getting help, use it. And it's like you guys. I've never met you guys in fucking person. I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at you through here. I follow you out, on the fucking interweb. You know, but to have a chat like this, or to see something you guys post, and don't have to put a little message. Put the little fucking heart emoji, and then DM you and say, hey, you know, we'll wait for you to come back when things are ready to go. No, I'm still here to support you. Shit like that goes a long way in my opinion.
Oh yeah.
And that's why I looked at. I was like, hey, these guys are doing. It's a good cause. Nobody here is like beating the fuck out of their chest saying that they're better than somebody else.
I mean, Rob might do that occasionally, but
Well, because he plays hockey. But
Uh,
that's like I said. I mean, I like what you guys do. It just seems like everybody that that I see chimes in on there, that has followed me and I followed them. Um, no, nobody has or has claimed to have the answer for world peace, and that's
right.
what
yeah.
I like. Everybody's open minded. You know, everybody is not ultra sensitive who I've run into. And it's make your fucking peace and move on.
Yeah. What do you guys say, Rob?
No, I agree with all that, and for the most part, for us, like those social media pages have led us to people that we actually care about, and
Mm-hmm.
we get to eventually have them on the podcast, and it's cool because we get to learn a little bit more about you, and I feel like every episode is like a different tool or a different methodology towards a common solution of just like bettering your lives, whether that's mentally, physically, whatever it is. And it's interesting because everyone that comes on the cast like has their own takes. Some of the stuff is repeated, but at the same time, some of the things are different than the way either Austin operates, the way I operate, the way Jimmy operates, and it's really cool to be pretty much almost 80 episodes into this, and we always seem to have a different take or a different person that comes on and brings like quality to our show. So
yeah, and like I said, and we like, Jimmy said, we try to do the whole quality over quantity, because we don't want to. Yeah, I mean, there's sometimes where we just throw out an episode and be like, well, fuck, we just need content. But we try to bring on people like you, Jimmy, and all of our other guests that actually have that we can bullshit with, that we can tell a story with, that we can try to just have a good time with, and that way we're not just bringing on random fucking people. Like, we want good people on here.
Yeah, definitely.
No, totally.
You want to get into some trending news?
Yeah, I mean, a lot's happened this past
A lot
week.
happened in 6 days.
Yeah, in trending news, a lot's happened. I mean, one of the biggest things was when was that, Rob? Was that Tuesday?
That was Monday night when I was at
Was it Monday night? Okay.
So Monday night, I was communicating with you and Amanda because I was trying to win my fantasy football championship, and I have Jason Allen, who's the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills, and then I was also playing against Stephon Diggs and the tight end for the Bills, Knox. And I turn on the game when I get to my hotel room because I'm getting ready to snowboard the next morning and play hockey later that week. Anyways, the game's delayed, and it was because there was a Bills player that was severely hurt to the point where they had induced CPR on the field. They were working on him, and it was Damar Hamlin. And I'm trying to figure out like what exactly happened because I missed a gap of like 2 to 3 minutes of the football game because I was checking into the hotel. So I call you, and what I say?
You're like, I don't know what's going on, but there was the ambulance on the field. And I was like, well, that's probably not good. So I looked it up real fast, went to Twitter, found a video of exactly what happened, and sent it to Rob.
Yeah, and it was Damar Hamlin running in to make a tackle on a kickoff, and one of the Bengals players, T. Higgins, was coming down the field to create a block. Ended up doing a clean block, but pretty devastating hit on Damar Hamlin. And I guess from now what we know to this day, like it put his heart out of the rhythm, stopped his heart, gave him a heart attack, and he stopped breathing on the field.
Yeah, he stood up and lost blood pressure, and then passed out.
Yeah, and
I mean, so that was crazy to see all that happened. And I mean, at first they were talking about, oh yeah, we'll just continue on with the game. Like, it'll be like 5 minutes or 30 minutes. Like, he'll be fine. Like, he'll shake it off, and then turn into, we're not continuing. Like, this game is not happening.
Yeah.
Like, and everybody was crying, and like it was super an emotional game. And then come to find out, was it last night they put out the game's officially canceled.
Like, yeah, they officially canceled it, I think yesterday or this morning. I mean, it's been pretty crazy, and then he's made a pretty miraculous comeback. He's at the point now where
he's 27, I think he was.
I think he's like 24. I can look it up.
Yeah, he's young, but yeah, I mean, he's made a great comeback. He did a video chat with his teammates today, like saying thank you guys, like thank you for everything. And then I heard one of the first things he when he first woke up, he couldn't speak yet.
24.
But yeah, but when he first woke up, he couldn't speak or anything yet. But he either wrote down or typed it out and asked if they won.
Yeah.
Like, did we
Yeah.
win the game? And like,
Hmm.
that's all he cared about. Like the first thing he said or asked, like, did we win the game? And they're like, yeah, you won. Because I mean, they're not gonna tell him like
No,
the
no, no,
reason.
no, no. The doctor said that you won. You
Yeah,
won the game of life. You're alive. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So like it was crazy because like his first thought, like he didn't care like how he was. His first thought was, did we win? Like, because that's his whole life. I mean, this is only his second year in the NFL. Like he's
Hmm.
still a rookie. So and it's
were
crazy
you
that
were you watching that game
Oh
you
yeah,
yourself,
I
watch.
Jimmy?
was.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Jimmy.
was. Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, it totally is. I was just sitting there like, dude, I still think the NFL screwed the pooch when they're like, you tell by the look of the players and the coaches' faces that it was a lot more going on than we could see. And
Oh
then they're like,
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, we're coming back in 5 minutes. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, why the fuck would you
right.
even think
Well,
about,
because
you know?
I mean, injuries happen all the time in football.
Yeah,
Like injuries happen every day, like every game. So their normal routine is to okay, shake it off. He'll be back. Like he's gonna go sit on the bench and we'll continue.
yeah,
But yeah, that didn't happen.
yeah. It's not like they put an air cast on him, put him in there's like, no, they're fucking,
Yeah,
CPR and jump starting his heart, and that's that would fuck me up if I had to look at it like, oh, let's go play in 5 minutes. Like, coach, go fuck yourself. That's not
right.
happening.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and then also later that night we found out that Ken Block passed away.
Yeah, that
Who
was
is a
pretty
rally
crazy.
car drive, yeah, rally car driver and Hoonigan owner and co-founder of DC Shoes.
Hmm.
And he was just out doing something he loved. I mean, he was out snowmobiling. He was going up a mountain and it flipped over on him. Like the snowmobile flipped over on him. I mean, he's done some intense things, and just to go out like that is crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, and
What are you gonna say?
it was even just wilder. Like looking at like his Instagram page that day or whatever, because he was joking around. He's putting stuff on his story, and he was actually listening to Travis Rice's podcast,
Mm-hmm.
famous snowboarder, and you know it's just crazy because I think what it circles back to, and I'll let you guys comment on it, is you have no idea if or when it can be over and how long we're actually on this earth. So it's crazy that it happened that fast and like not even as crazy as the things that he normally does.
Yeah, I mean, like life is fragile. I mean, neither of them like expected that to happen.
Hmm.
Um, when it did, they were just out doing their normal, life. I mean, shit, and it happens. Like life ends. I mean, luckily, Damar Hamlin's gonna make hopefully, well, it's like a full recovery, and he'll be back. But like, yeah, life, you never know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's like, I mean, that's like blows my mind with all that shit. And again, it goes back to people like, don't smoke, don't drink, don't do this, don't do that. I'm like, okay, don't breathe the fucking air. Uh,
Right?
make sure you don't wipe your ass crooked.
Yeah.
Make sure you only wiggle twice after you're done
I
pissing.
mean,
It's
yeah,
like it really doesn't matter. So that's why I'm like, people say, oh, you could. My doctor told, oh, you can do this. I'm like, nah, I like food. I like cookies. I like
right,
cokes. You know what? I'll remember that later. But since I'm
right,
not in the red, I'm good to go right now.
yeah. And then the other thing that happened, was Jeremy Renner, aka Hawkeye, um, got put in the hospital because he was his so one of his family members was driving his car, so he went to go get the snowcat to unblock because it was covered in snow, and he went to go, dig him out and whatever. And then when he got out to check to see, the snowcat started moving again.
Hmm.
So he went to go get back in it to stop it, and that's the last anybody saw of him until it hit the snowbank and stopped it. So he got ran over by a snowplow, ended up in the ER and crazy. I mean,
What's his status?
he's better. He's up. He's had multiple surgeries. He's posted on Instagram. He's had video chats. Like, he's doing a lot better. But like I said, it's crazy because all that happened in a
All like
week.
the same 12-hour period.
Yeah. So it's crazy that all three of those things happened right after another, and it just like we said, it just goes to show how fragile life is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you can be in the best shape of your life. You can do everything right, but they don't.
Yeah.
God doesn't care. Shit happens every day that people don't know about.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
you can delete that if you want, Rob.
That's what I was thinking too.
But yeah, like I said, life is crazy and fragile, and you never know what's going to happen that day.
Yeah, that's what drives me nuts, man. It's just people just bitching about some stupid shit all the time. Like, there's more important things in life to worry about. That's like the whole. I'm sorry. I'm just so sick and tired. Okay, Trump's not in office anymore. Can we please move on from January 6th? Can we? I mean,
Right.
I would like to fill up my truck that's at half a tank with
Yeah.
usually what is $30 instead of goddamn 60, almost $70 when I'm at a half a tank. I
Yeah,
want to go buy some eggs.
The economy is ridiculous.
I mean, in my opinion, I'm sorry for everything that happened over there, but that dead horse is beaten. It's
Oh yeah.
gone. It's not coming back. To me, I'm just like, people start talking politics and bitching about shit to me. I just look at them like, does a shark fart in water? And they're like, what does that mean? I'm like, that's the mystery that I want to know. Does a shark fucking fart in water? That's all I want to know. And until then, don't bother
Pretty
me with
sure
any other
they
shit.
do, because they shit in the water.
Yeah, but do they fart though? I've never.
I'm pretty sure
I mean, on Shark Week, they never talk about it. Can't tell me I'm wrong. Can't tell me I'm wrong. I got Discovery
Rob's gonna
Channel on
Google
that.
it. He's
I
gonna
know.
see some random shit. Rob's gonna Google, does a shark fart in the water, and he's gonna see some weird pornos or something.
Yeah, he probably will. Probably will.
It's probably a euphemism for something.
Yeah, I know.
What are you finding over there, Rob?
if you considered farting to be a byproduct of digestion, in other words, gases expelled from the rear end, then most fish don't fart. However, two exceptions, shark and herring.
Oh, so sharks. So sharks are the only ones that do fart in water.
Sharks and herring,
Oh,
apparently,
see,
according to this.
according to Google.
According to Master Diver's blog of 2016. Why isn't there anything newer than that?
Right?
Is
Because
is a
he answered the
shark an
question.
is a shark an animal or a mammal?
It's a fish.
It's a fish.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I watch all the Shark Weeks too, and you're right. They've never talked about them farting.
And I just mentioned that because there was this old guy I coached with. Things were going to shit one day, and he just looked at me in the press box. He goes, "Is a shark fart in water?" And then I was like, I don't fucking know. And until this day, I just use that to have people look it up and confuse
Right?
them because it keeps us
It
away
worked.
from talking about
It,
keeps us
it worked,
from
Rob.
talking about hockey. It worked on
Right?
Rob because
Yeah.
he didn't know what else to talk about. So
Okay, man. Yeah. So, well, we're gonna close up this podcast, and if there's with some ATI, unless there's anything else that you want to talk about, Jimmy.
no, man, I just like I appreciate y'all busting my balls for the joke I posted and having me on here, but I do appreciate it getting on here and like shout out to you two and everything that you guys do and what y'all stand for. I'm just happy to participate and do what I can and chime in and just like you guys said, the more people we can get on board with this, no matter what type of issue you might be dealing with or think you're dealing with, there's just
Mhm.
maybe I can be a resource to somebody. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, we do this, for everybody that listens. We've had plenty of people reach out saying that it helps them, and if we can just help one person with this podcast, it's worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
so
Yep. But no, other than that, I appreciate y'all. Appreciate everything y'all do, and I'm just out here living the dream, man.
okay, man. Well, yeah. So we'll close up this podcast with some fucked up questions. I was like, we do fucked up questions at the end. We always like to end on a lighthearted note. Some funny fucked up questions. Everybody's smiling, laughing when we end. Because
Yeah,
there's
this
some
is the part that
episodes.
your parents
Yeah,
won't want
there's
to listen to, though. This is like,
yeah. And like I said, they're fucked up. So, like I said, we sometimes we get into some super serious, topics. So we always like to end it on a lighthearted note. So, are you ready, Rob?
yeah, I'll get it. The first one.
Okay.
Would you rather dive into a pool of semen or blood? You're up, Jimmy. What you got?
Well, I'm gonna have to go with blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and why is that? You already
Because
hang out with a bunch of semen. You should be a professional at this.
yeah, but see, I see what they are, and I just know that I'm such a bad. Hey, Bravo Alpha Mike Foxtrot is Bamf, badass motherfucker, right? So I think me coming out of a pool of blood, looking like me, dude, that'd be fucking spot on.
Okay.
So
Make sure we record it for a movie or something.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
What you
Okay,
got,
what about
Austin?
I think blood. I mean, nobody wants to dive into a full pool of semen. That just does not. Unless
I mean,
maybe if you're
there
a
might
woman.
be some people out there, and
I
it
mean,
doesn't matter if they're
if
gay
you're
or
really
straight,
into
but
that, I mean, more
it's
power
not
to
me.
you. But
And we're dealing with a professional handler of semen, so like he
yeah.
doesn't even want to dive into it.
You know, he's
I wear
touched so much
gloves.
semen in his life. That.
I wear gloves, so it's all
All right,
good.
what's the next one?
Okay. Would you rather be the plus one in a couple's threesome, or have a threesome with your significant other and bring in the third person? What you got, Jimmy?
Dude, that's a tough one.
You're either the third wheel, or you have to bring in the third wheel.
You know what? I'm definitely gonna have to bring in the third wheel because I do not want sloppy seconds. I want to make
Is
sure
it going to be a semen?
it's gonna be it's gonna be definitely multiple semen. Yes.
Okay. What about you, Rob?
I don't know how to answer this one without getting in trouble with Amanda.
I didn't even think about that, but
Yeah, way to go, dickhead.
just answer it truthfully.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the best way to do this is I would have to have her bring the person, because if it's the other way, yeah, it's not gonna go over well.
Yeah. If you bring home another chick, right here,
All I know
honey,
is
I got us a third.
when my girlfriend sees how I answer, she's gonna be pissed, so it doesn't matter. I'll fuck either way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you are kind of fucked either way.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. So
Yeah.
oh well.
My
Thanks,
wife don't
guys.
care.
Well, hopefully Amanda's got good taste, and there we go.
Okay.
What about you?
Even if it's a dude she brings home.
Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Repick.
Pick another one. I mean, if I'm being honest, I'd probably be someone else's plus one. I think it'd be more entertaining.
To like just show up into someone else's.
Yeah, I think it'd be more fun and I mean, as long as they're not like super fucking weird or something, or like gross and have like STDs or some shit, like it might be interesting. You never know.
Yeah. All right. Next one.
Next one.
Would you rather have sex while blindfolded or handcuffed?
Both.
Well, you can only pick one, Jimmy.
Oh, fuck. Can I have a split personality and say both? Okay, then it's probably going to be blindfolded.
Okay. Well, Rob has to answer first, and then I'll mute you.
Would you rather have sex blindfolded or handcuffed? Blindfolded, 100%. It can't be handcuffed.
Okay. Let's see. I think I'll go blindfolded too. I want to be able to use my hands. So, and if you're blindfolded, maybe your other senses get heightened. So maybe it'll make it better. You know, you lose one sense and your other senses get heightened.
It's supposed to.
I think it'll make it better.
Yeah.
So, okay. Next one. Would you rather have the worst sex of your life once a week or the best sex of your life once a month?
I'll go with the once a month.
You're going to go the best sex of your life once a month?
Yep. Yeah,
okay.
Totally.
What's Rob going to pick over there?
I mean, that's what I would want too. I would rather have quality over quantity. As
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would you rather
How about you?
run?
Yeah, I was gonna go once a month too. I mean, so okay. What's the last one, Rob?
I know the answer to this. Would you rather give? Oh wait, I read this wrong. Would you rather? Never mind. I don't know the answer to this. Would you rather give the first 99% of a blowjob or the last 1%?
What you picking, Jimmy? Are you getting the load of semen or no?
Dude, I'm going with the no. No. Nope. Nope.
He's like, I'm doing the first 99%.
No pun intended, but that's a hard pass on the end. Yeah. No. Nope.
What about you?
I put enough semen at work. I don't want anymore.
Yeah, I don't need it anymore.
Okay. I think I'm gonna go with the first 99%, and they can finish it on their own.
Yeah, you know what's funny? When I read this, I thought it was about like receiving a blowjob, and I was thinking like, you know what? Like, try not to like describe my sex life too much here, but
I already know all about it, Rob. It's okay.
I think like I'm trying to think like how to say this.
How are Amanda's blowjobs? That's what we really want
Incredible.
That's what we really want to know, Rob.
Allie's saving me with the toys here in the background.
Answer the question, Rob.
I'm gonna do the first part because yeah, I can't take a load.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I can't take a load to the face.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Maybe if you're having a threesome, you can switch off for the last 1%.
All right, well, we gotta wrap this thing up, or you gotta close this out.
Okay, well, you close it.
Stick around for a minute, though, Jimmy.
Yeah, don't go nowhere.
Mute me and like do the usual outgo.
You just close this out. Hurry up, get done.
Rate, subscribe, share the episode. We gotta start saying that at the beginning of the episode. By the way, I was thinking about that. Please rate, please subscribe, please share this episode, and we're excited because we're about ready to have a new listener in Holland.
Damn, I better.